The Godfather himself.
Don't you know that I'm still in? Sure enough in love with you.
What up, Godfather?
What up, OG? You know, I
Man,
had to
you know
come
I've
on
been
with some
waiting,
OG.
man. You
I
know
had to
I've been
come on with
waiting
some
on this.
OG music.
Oh man, I've been staying coronavirus free and trying to put this shit together for the black folks.
That's right. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. I was telling the other day, the last time I seen you in concert, we was in North Carolina. It was pouring down raining, hell. I said, man, ain't nobody going to no show with this kind of rain. It was like 30 degrees. My man said, come on, man, let's go out there, man. You couldn't get in the gate. It was pouring down raining. It was hailing. But they still came to see the Snoop Doggy Dogg. How
Hey,
you been, man?
I've been good, Ross. Love is love, man. I've been, sitting up in my room, being creative, coming up with new things. I got to stay creative because I've always been one to try to diversify my portfolio and do different things. So this has been a good move for me because I love being like isolated so I can really creatively come up with some new things.
Man, you been in this game, seemed like forever. I remember when you looked like you was a teenager on the first video I saw you on. Well, I've been knowing about you before that video came out. It just so happened, that your brother-in-law and me
Yes, sir.
in the
Yes, sir.
joint
Yes,
stayed
sir.
together. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir. Yes, sir.
So I've been knowing about you forever, and just to see how you stay so relevant, man. I mean, most people are out of this thing in 1 or 2 years, and you just keep reinventing yourself. I
I
mean, to
think I
me,
think it's because I got my hands on the pulse of the youth, bro. It's like some of the great things you was doing before you went away, like working with the youth. I was able to put together a football league and have a direct connect with the youth and start coaching and be a part of their culture and learn what they liked and grow with the youth. And then my audience grew with me, so it was never like I was growing old. And when I did get to a point to where I was old, I was looked at as an uncle and not as like a grandfather. So when you look at it like as like an uncle in the industry, that's what respect. When people call you unc, that's what respect. I'm knowing you getting it everywhere you go. Everybody like, what's up, unc? What's up, unc? Because
no
we look
doubt,
like we your nephews. We love you and we respect you like that.
no doubt, no doubt. And when you done helped so many people, when we look at the game, the people that you done touched coming up, I mean, the list go on and on and on and on and on. So it's only right that the people respect you for what you've done for this industry
Right, right. And
and for LA.
when you putting people in the game, you ain't looking for the return. You looking for them to blow up. You looking for them to shine. You like when you put the sack in their hand, you looking for them to go out there and create their own, corner, their own situation where they can create their own fan base and have their own shop set up and run their own business. You know what I'm saying? That's what the whole purpose of putting somebody in the game, plugging somebody up, is for them to become, what you think they should be, not for them to be up under your wing. It's like when Dr. Dre put me in the game. One thing he could say about me is that when I got in the game, I never looked back. I never asked him for nothing, wanted to borrow nothing. If anything, I was always there for him because of what he did for me. And that's the mark of a true soldier. When somebody puts you in the game, you forever indebted, but you're never supposed to ask them for nothing. You're supposed to be on point for them.
No doubt. But you came in this game with a whole different style, man, like nobody had ever saw before. You had that smooth, but with that gangster touch on it, and nobody had ever really did it like that, man. So I remember, I was in MDC with Harrio. Me and Harrio was Sellies.
Right. I just put up a post to try to free him to get him to come on home.
Yeah, yeah. We were Sellies when I was there the first day Harrio met Suge. I was also there in the room with Harrio and David Kenner the day that Harrio told David Kenner that he was gonna make him more money in the record business than he ever made as a lawyer. I was sitting in that room
And he
right there
did
with
that.
him.
He did that.
So my hand's been right there. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching. You know,
Right in the mix.
from a distance, but at the same time watching. Uh,
Right.
I don't know if you remember the first time I talked to you from jail.
That was a while back.
Hey, you don't even remember that. You don't even
Come
remember
on,
that.
run it down to me, OG.
Your wife put you on the phone with me when I was in jail.
Well, Hootie.
With Hootie. Hootie was on the phone talking to
Ownership. And I was a youngster like you, but at the same time, I wasn't as big as you. And I said once I got in the game and got in a position to do it, I was going to do it like you, but I was going to do it in a way to where they couldn't take it away from me.
real
You
talk.
understand what I'm saying?
The real talk, because it was hard. You know, when I was going to jail, I had made up my mind that it was okay for me to go to jail, because I was saying, well, my family gonna be good.
Right.
But then when they take all that shit from you,
Then it's a
and
different
you in
scenario.
jail, you like, damn. So now everything that I did was for nothing.
Because now the respect that the money garnered is gone. The respect that you garnered as a person, the people that's real gonna be there, but the fake ones was connected to the money, so they gone. So it's like you start to realize who really with you, who for you, and you come from nothing. So you can always go back to having nothing. But the people around you that was so used to that lifestyle that you gave them puts them in uncomfortable positions to where they gotta either be weak and fold, or either they gotta shake, rattle, and roll.
Yeah, and it started to make you, you know, when you in there and you start to feel like you don't have any substance. Like you don't mean nothing to nobody. You know, nobody is coming to see you. Nobody is taking your phone calls no more. You know, they starting to reject them collect calls, you know, after a few months when, you know it or not.
Right,
You
right.
had took the game, the same format that we had used in the dope game. We see you guys taking it, but now you put it to a way that you're not going to prison. I mean,
Right,
not just me, because you know we all in there kicking it. Me, Lil D, Harry O, Bo,
right, right.
Pat from Compton. I mean that's just a few of us that was in there, but it was a whole bunch of us in there, and we watching what y'all doing out here. How y'all literally, I mean, y'all have became so powerful, man, that it was like, what the fuck? Do these dudes know how much power they waging right now? In the world, not just in the record business, but the whole world was like, let me see if I'm right or wrong. Your first album sold like 8 million copies.
Something like that. I stopped counting.
I probably stopped counting too, but I think the last Billboard that I had saw, I believe it was like 8 million copies. You know, that shit ain't gonna be done again in life. Ain't nobody gonna never get to do that again.
Right,
That's over.
right. But
Snoop Dogg.
you know one thing about power though, Rick, when you get it at an early age, you don't never know you got it. Because that ain't what you in it for. It's like when you had all that power, you didn't realize that you was the biggest motherfucker in California, worldwide, the whole nine, until they came and knocking on your door. You know what I'm saying? We don't realize how much power we got until they either make us use it or they take it away from us.
Man, do you know when I started to realize who I was is when I was sitting in that jail cell and I started to hear dudes talking about me and I'm sitting in the cell with them and they didn't know that was me.
Mm.
And they telling a dude right next to me a story about me and I'm sitting right next to him and he didn't even know who I was. So I'm starting to see like, what the hell? And it just made me realize how a lot of times we have things at our disposal, but we may not use it in the right way. And I'm glad to see y'all taking it, especially you, Snoop.
Of a highlighted moment, I like to get down on the big stage, and I like to hold my position. I'm creative and I'm very competitive, so it's like I don't like being two. I like being the one.
No doubt, no doubt. Me too. I'm the same way. I want to be number one as well. Now, what made you start rapping, Snoop?
You know, listening to music in the 70s, and then I think it was 78, 79 when that Sugar Hill Gang came out. And then there was a rapper named Jimmy Spicer that had a song called Super Rhymes. It was just so many dope ass records that was coming out, and I was like a young, teenager hearing it. And rap was created in the 80s, and I was watching the rap game, the dope game, and watching people from my neighborhood become athletes and NFL stars. And I was like, the shit was infatuated. The shit was the easiest. It was the closest to grab, was either to be a drug dealer, a gangbanger, or a rapper, or a breakdancer. And I tried all of them out, and rapping was just the one that just was the one that fit me the most. It was the one that was the most, it had the comfort zone where it was like, motherfuckers knew I was the one before I knew I was the one. My hood knew that I was doper than I knew I was. They knew that I had potential to become that motherfucker. You know, your hood supports you more than anybody. If you got it, they'll let you know. If you don't, they'll let you know.
Well, you know, that's one thing that when I was young, and you know, the first time I saw Tookie and the Crips, that I loved about them was the camaraderie. You know, with the love that they had for each other. I had, you know, I didn't have no daddy when I came up.
Right.
My dad left my mom when I was 4 months old, so you know the streets became my daddy. You know, whoever would let me hang. If you was a little older than I was and looked like you had some game, I wanted to hang with you. So when I was coming up, I remember when Tookie and Big Miles and all the OGs used to be at Manchester Park hanging out, and that camaraderie that they had was what initially made me want to be a gangbanger. But luckily, when I was like 12 years old, I started playing tennis, so that kind of stirred me away from it. But I understand what you're saying about the homeboys had that type of love for you to push you in the right direction.
Right. And that's, you don't really get that a lot in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Like, homies was pushing you to gang back or to sell some dope. So when I had got out from selling dope, I did like 8 months. And when I got out, one of my homies was so real. The nigga was like, cuz I'm gonna sell dope for you. And you ain't gotta, you know what I'm saying, touch the shit. Cause I know you ain't gonna make no money, but just keep rapping. He did that shit for like 6 months and we made like cassette tapes, and the motherfuckers finally got in the right hands. But that's how much love that niggas had for me, to where a nigga was selling dope for me so that way I can have a few dollars in my pocket while I was trying to do this rap shit.
Yeah, because it's rough to do it and sell dope.
Man, you ain't finna, one of them got to get.
So you can't serve two masters.
Ross, I tried to do them both. I was getting shot at, robbed, all kind of shit was happening. So it was like, you know what? I might as well take 2 feet out of this game and put 2 feet into this game, because I'm double dutching, and the double dutch gonna get me caught up, because I'm gonna be in rap mode and somebody gonna be in dope game mode, and they ain't gonna give a fuck. And that's what was happening. So it was like, I gotta go full rap mode, and that's just what I gotta be. I gotta take my losses with the money and sacrifice all of that for the fact that I believe in myself and I know that I can make it if I just focus on just this and this only.
Now, from what we heard in the joint was you and Warren G hooked up somewhere down the line. How did that come about?
Well, Warren G was my childhood friend. We grew up together, went to elementary, junior high school, you know, played sports together, the same park, King Park, you know, basically sold candy. We did everything together as little kids on the east side. So when rapping was created and came out, Dr. Dre is Warren G's half brother. So Warren G had a little rapping in him, because the nigga would be stealing all the Dr. Dre raps before they came out and be rapping the motherfuckers. So he was dope as fuck. And then at the same time, we was all learning how to rap. So we was all just figuring it out. And the ones that could rap ended up connected. So me and Warren G connected again when my mother moved to North Long Beach to 61st Street, where that's when I started selling dope. And I went to Jordan High School in North Long Beach, and me and Warren G connected that year and formulated a little, you know, little clique. And then I introduced Warren G to Nate Dogg, because me and Nate went to Poly together. And then we became 213. And that's when our journey began, as far as like trying to make music and not sell dope, not do robberies, not do nothing that's going to jeopardize us making it in the hip hop game.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt.